Picture warriors so fierce, ancient Chinese chronicles described them as red-haired giants from the frozen north. A kingdom that armed every nomadic empire from Mongolia to Persia, controlled the Silk Road's most sacred mountain, and toppled 2 presidents in 5 years with nothing but flowers and fury. This is Kyrgyzstan, history's most underrated survivor. Grab your drink, because what I'm about to tell you, no other YouTube channel covers. Siberian Iron Kings. Rewind to 500 BC. The Kyrgyz weren't mountain dwellers yet. They lived in Siberia's Yenisei River Valley, freezing forests where they hunted on skis and practiced shamanism. Chinese records from 2000 BC call them Gekhan, mysterious forest people. Arab travelers centuries later wrote they had red hair, fair skin, and blue-green eyes, totally different from other Central Asian tribes. But here's what textbooks skip. From the 6th to 8th centuries, the Kyrgyz ran Central Asia's iron foundry. The Minazinsk Basin became the weapons factory of the steppes. While Sogdian merchants hauled silk westward, Kyrgyz smiths forged swords, arrowheads, and armor for every nomadic army. They even exported mammoth tusks dug from Siberian permafrost, ancient ivory worth its weight in gold. They weren't just warriors, they were the arms dealers of antiquity. The empire they won't admit. By 840 AD, these Siberian blacksmiths did something insane. They destroyed the mighty Uyghur Khaganate. Suddenly, the Kyrgyz controlled Mongolia. For 85 years, they dominated from the Altai to the Tian Shan Mountains. Chinese emperors sent tribute. They called themselves equals to Tang China. But here's the academic bombshell. Cambridge historians call this empire a scholarly fantasy. Yeah, they crushed the Uyghurs in battle. But centralized empire never happened. They controlled the Yenisei homeland, raided Mongolia for loot, and scared everyone. Think Vikings, not Rome. Military prestige doesn't equal administration. By 925, Khitan Mongols kicked him out, and the Kyrgyz migrated south to the Tian Shan peaks, modern Kyrgyzstan's homeland. Now the culture bomb. Kyrgyz have an epic poem called Manus, 500,000 lines long, 20 times Homer's Iliad. It tells how warrior Manus unified 40 scattered tribes in the 9th century. Here's the insane part, transmitted entirely orally for 1,000+ years. Manuski bards can recite for 3 to 7 days straight from memory at festivals. UNESCO made it intangible cultural heritage because it's the longest oral epic still performed today. No nation kept its identity alive through pure storytelling like this. Ptolemy's stone tower and Silk Road power jump to the medieval Silk Road. Osh, southern Kyrgyzstan, became the gateway to the Silk Road. Archaeological layers prove 3,000 years of continuous habitation, older than Rome. Merchants traveling China to Persia had to cross the murderous Tian Shan Mountains, avalanches, bandits, death. The Kyrgyz, they charged protection fees and controlled history's richest trade corridor. And Sulaiman-Too mountain. Scholars believe it's Ptolemy's legendary stone tower, the Silk Road's exact midpoint marked in his geography treatise from 150 AD. For 1,500 years, shamans, Buddhists, and Muslims all worshipped this same rock. UNESCO calls it the most complete sacred mountain in Central Asia. Ancient cult caves with petroglyphs, ritual paths. This wasn't just trade, it was spiritual capitalism. Get this. In 1978, the Soviets carved a museum directly into the sacred caves to secularize it during communist anti-religion campaigns. Glassed concrete arches closing natural karst caves, 13 rooms, 1,238 square meters inside a holy mountain. Now it's a UNESCO heritage site and a Soviet architectural crime. History's weirdest museum. By 1876, the Russian Empire annexed Kyrgyzstan. Colonists flooded the fertile Fergana Valley, seizing farmland. 1916, Kyrgyz revolted against forced labor conscription for World War I. Russian response: 30 to 40% of the entire Kyrgyz population killed or forced to flee. Whole villages massacred. Survivors escaped to Afghanistan and the Pamir Mountains. It was ethnic cleansing disguised as counterinsurgency, and almost no Western history book mentions it. Stalin created the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic in 1936, artificial borders to divide and conquer Central Asia. The capital became Frunze, named after a Bolshevik general, erasing centuries of identity. Russian became mandatory, nomadic culture suppressed. For 55 years, Kyrgyzstan disappeared into the Soviet machine. August 31, 1991, USSR collapses, Kyrgyzstan declares independence. Reformist Askar Akayev wins promising democracy. The capital becomes Bishkek again. For a decade, Kyrgyzstan was Central Asia's island of democracy. Then his family looted the treasury, rigged elections, and sold the country. March 2005, Tulip Revolution. Protesters storm Bishkek. Akayev flees to Moscow. It was Central Asia's first peaceful government overthrow, tulips replacing tanks. But the new president, Kurmanbek Bakiyev, turned dictator. April 2010, Second Revolution, same script, different flowers. Interim president stabilizes chaos. London School of Economics calls Kyrgyzstan a permanent revolution state, fragile institutions, clan politics, North versus South rivalry, and corruption cycles. Since 2010, protests toppled another president in 2020. Kyrgyzstan cycles through leaders like a Netflix binge. So there it is, Kyrgyzstan. From red-haired Siberian arms dealers to Silk Road kingpins to serial revolutionaries. They armed empires, guarded sacred mountains, survived genocide, and kept overthrowing their own governments. The mountains that isolated them also forged their defiance. What's next for this phoenix? Will the tulips bloom again? And which country's untold story should I uncover next? Albania's King Zog and communist bunkers, Oman's secret African empire, or Georgia's ancient alphabet? Comment below, smash subscribe, and let's dig into history's wildest tales together.